Well, coming out of Comic-Con, one of the biggest questions is always who won the weekend, Marvel or DC? Some of Marvel's big reveals included a teaser clip for Avengers 2, Corey Stoll being announced as Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 locking a July 28, 2017 release date with director James Gunn returning. Some of the biggest DC reveals include the first picture of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Batman's cape and cowl, and a teaser clip that showed an angry Superman and Batman from Zack Snyder's upcoming film. Amy Rose, who do you think took the weekend?
Honestly, I'm disappointed in both sides. Yeah. There were not any gigantic reveals. We were hoping that we could get the, DC Cinematic Universe lineup. We were hoping we would find out who, Doctor Strange is. We were hoping on both sides there were things I thought would be announced, and it was the perfect opportunity. My guess is Marvel is going to release some stuff at D23, their big convention. Yeah. So I get that, but DC, we're waiting on you. So out of all the reveals that Miss Ashley just listed and the things that we witnessed, sure, the Batman vs. Superman clip, I actually wasn't in Hall H, so I didn't get to see it, but it does sound pretty amazing. And I would say having, the Holy Trinity there and having the first look at Wonder Woman, and I mean, that right there is a bigger reveal than, Guardians 2. First reviews of the film, we're seeing it tonight, have been really positive, and so, that makes me happy that Gunn would be returning and all of that good stuff. But yeah, I really wanted more because last year, the big news was Batman vs. Superman. We didn't see that coming at all. And then they revealed, Age of Ultron, so where our adventure would go on that end. And this year I was just kind of like, okay, clips are cool and all that, but if I had to pick, I would say DC because we did get our first look at Wonder Woman, and I think she looks amazing. A lot of people are comparing it to Xena, Warrior Princess, and a lot of people aren't happy that it's muted colors instead of her traditional, colors that we like. But I just think it really goes in line with Zack Snyder's tone, and she looks like she's ready to kick some ass. So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool, and but I was hoping for a little bit more. Miri, you weren't there.
I'm the only one at this table that wasn't there, so my impression is very different than you guys. I wasn't on the front lines of this war, but from where I'm sitting, I feel like DC had more coming out the entire weekend. It wasn't just in film; it was like Arrow and Gotham. They were just in the news more. But I feel like Marvel made a bigger splash because, and they always do, because they're like the last big panel on Saturday, and Robert Downey Jr. coming out with the roses, and I heard a lot more about that one panel than I feel like I did all weekend with DC, even though DC was more of like a constant source of news. I like how Wonder Woman looks. I was really happy to see that they kept it toned down because she looks consistent with the other characters that they've released so far. But I agree with you, there really wasn't a lot to go on. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a costume. It's not, it's not more about any characterizations or anything we weren't expecting. So for me, I was more excited by what I was seeing from Marvel, but I feel like DC was more in my brain all weekend.
Alicia?
For me, I say Marvel wins just because sheer show poniness.
Yes, totally.
They bring out the really flashy cast of the Avengers. And even though, I wanted to hear about Fantastic Four and I wanted to hear who's playing Doctor Strange, and for DC I wanted to hear who is in Justice League, and I wanted to hear more about Wonder Woman besides her costume, which I also think looks cool. I think Gal Gadot actually looks quite fierce. It's obvious that she has put on muscle for the role, and I think that is fantastic. But for me, just being the press, on the press lines, I mean, DC had Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and Ben Affleck, and they did no press at all. I would have loved to talk to them. Marvel brings out everyone, and they all went down the press line. Me and Amy Rose were standing next to each other, and they had so much fun with each other that I think it was just a good time with Marvel, so that's why I choose them.
We definitely had a fun moment where we're speaking with Jeremy Renner, and then all of a sudden we get a little tap, and Mark Ruffalo's like, "Can I come in the mix?" And then Colby Smulders, and then Samuel L. Jackson. It was the four of them. Were just like, whoa.
And they have a great camaraderie, which is nice to see.
Yeah, Christian, what are your thoughts?
I'm with you. First of all, that I think it was a letdown on both sides. I mean, The Rock's been teasing Shazam for the
and he was there.
Come
he was at Comic-Con.
and we didn't get anything on that at all. So I was expecting that. I thought they were going to announce Ms. Marvel at the thing. They did, and I think that'll eventually come, but we didn't get that. We didn't get a lot of slates on either side. But I do think, hands down, DC won because I think we're all talking about press lines and people, putting on a show and that stuff. We're talking fan reaction.
Yeah.
Fans aren't really caring about that stuff so much.
No.
It's cool to watch them pop up, but the fans, all the fans are talking about is, well, Superman was up in the air and his eyes turned red.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was excited. And the other thing, too, whether or not DC did it intentionally or not, they left a lot of leaked footage was out there for a bit. The fans got to see it. When you were going on YouTube and stuff, you could find that clip. You couldn't find the Avengers there at all.
I actually don't like bootlegs, but I did
But
see
you saw the
there's so many bootleg
and I don't encourage
things.
it whatsoever,
Yeah.
but I saw it and I freaked out about it. And it's just everyone's talking about it. It looks like the old school Dark Knight. You have these guys back and forth and they're staring at each other and they're ready to fight.
And the bat signal.
Yes, it's everything you wanted for. That's what everyone was talking about because no one's seen anything else from the Avengers whatsoever. And even certain pictures that were released for Batman and how he looked side by side by some of the old school comics. That's what people were talking about fan wise. So I think DC won.
Yeah, that's how I based my winning argument as well, because I agree. Nobody does a press line like Marvel, because the entire cast, and especially newbies, Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch and Aaron Taylor Johnson joining this crazy ensemble that's already so impressive and larger than life. So from that perspective, but in terms of who brought it for presentation.
Yeah, although Hall H went crazy for Marvel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They always
do.
They absolutely did, but that's specific to San Diego. We know that because we were there.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't. That's why I'm saying all weekend DC. It was
all weekend.
That's
why you're very important to be here today, Mary. We appreciate
I feel
you.
good now.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.